Hi ho, 420 MSP, Harry here, busy times worldwide for everybody, and in particular in the cannabis vertical as we continue to literally grow and go. I am with Jim Roddy from the RSPA. So, sir, please introduce yourself and your trade group. Then I want to talk about a podcast you did recently.
Sure, happy to. Always a pleasure to talk with you, Harry. So I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for the Retail Solutions Providers Association. I also serve as a business coach. I've been in the channel for over 20 years now. And so the RSPA is for VARs, ISVs, MSPs, manufacturers, distributors in the greater retail IT channel. And so we not only focus on retail, but all the niches underneath. That includes hospitality, grocery, and C-store. And one thing that we're really seeing is an emerging vertical, sub-vertical inside of that industry where we're seeing a lot of folks who are traditional resellers in the point of sale space is the cannabis and CBD vertical. A lot of interest around that, a lot of questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's in part why you're the right guy to help us with our Cannabis Tech Conference. It's online June 1st and 2nd. And you're going to bail me out of trouble because you're going to be able to moderate a few of the conversations. So it's I don't get in trouble and I get a breather. I appreciate
that. Nice, happy to help where I can.
Yeah, so I put the URL down below, folks, for you to, after you watch this, go listen to a podcast. Episode 11, it's the RSPA Trusted Advisor back in February 2020, and the title was Cannabis and CBD Vertical Opportunities for VARs and ISVs. You indicated it's just under an hour in length. Maybe even more importantly, you have one of our contributors, Duane Roebuck from BlueStar on it. So what can our listeners expect? They're going to devote an hour to listen to your podcast. Why should they do it? What can they expect?
Got it. Great question. So Duane is part of, like you said, BlueStar. BlueStar has been a longtime partner and supporter of the RSPA. So the way that we craft our podcast, we interview multiple people at one time. Almost think of it like you said, a panel at a trade show. We'll have 2 or 3 people as part of it to get a variety of perspectives. So Duane is on there giving the distributor perspective, what he's seen pursuing that vertical. We also have Brian Meyer from Solvent, who provides safe and transparent financial transitions for high-risk verticals like cannabis and CBD. He also used to work for a cannabis software and ERP company, so he gives his perspective from that angle. And we also had Dave Albert, who's a VAR based in New Hampshire, but he also has an office in Fort Collins, Colorado, and he gave that reseller perspective in terms of what he's doing to get traction in the cannabis vertical. So then the perspective that I provide is as somebody who is, I don't want to say a complete newbie, but in terms of like, I haven't, and I admit it on the podcast, like I haven't been around the marijuana vertical. I haven't been around the cannabis or anything like that. And so I brought that perspective in terms of, so you guys have been really experienced at this, but there's a whole bunch of inexperienced channel executives who are a little nervous about this because it's so different and they don't quite know what it is. And so we just kind of dove in and got some information in terms of how is cannabis and CBD, what are the potential opportunities and what are the challenges? And man, are there a long list of challenges for resellers, for software developers who want to be adjacent to that market or really go full speed in that market.
Yeah, and I think therein lies the opportunity. Jim, my career path, once I discovered the savings and loan, I worked my way through grad school and it became quickly apparent I'm unemployable. I'm not a good employee. So I did the enterprise financial lending, moved over to IT, thank God, and the rest is history. But the point is that I feel invested forward, typically my time, not so much cash, but investing forward in early stage, high risk opportunities. And, I hit with SMB Nation. I don't want to tell you about the other 90 that I did not hit on. That's kind of the old 1 out of 100 hits, but it only takes one. So I appreciate you helping fire up the dialogue. And then my other compliment to you, and we'll let you run, but my other compliment would be my experience with trade associations is they tend to just organically be a little more conservative. And it's interesting that you've raised your hand and said, we're going to have an adult conversation about this new economic opportunity. What was your thinking there? Because it ties into what you're saying about some of the traditional people are just a little shy about this.
Right, and I'd say what doubles down on the general point of sale channel for the resellers, it's different from the MSP space, where a lot of MSPs are a startup, right? They launched it and they're looking to build it up and get the recurring revenue and sell it and move on to something else. A lot of folks, a lot of VARs in the POS channel, the point of sale channel, are second or third generation. So you're having not just conservative as an owner, you've got at the Thanksgiving table, you've got the prior owner who isn't saying, oh yeah, jump into that cannabis thing. So, but what we saw is we're always looking for new opportunities, what's around the corner for the reseller channel, for the ISV channel. Those are, kind of our two core constituencies. And cannabis is certainly one of those things. Now, one thing that is causing more folks to be nervous about it as opposed to the, the taboo of cannabis is right now so much is up in the air from a electronic payments perspective. A lot of resellers in the retail IT space, they make a whole bunch of money on the recurring revenue from the payments. So there's a lot of folks who have said, oh, when the payments comes, then I'll jump in. And our take is it may be too late at that point. So our whole thing is we're trying to accelerate the success of the members inside of the RSPA. And this is one of those sub-niche avenues that you don't have to get involved in, right? If it doesn't fit what you want to do, but it seems like it's something that's at least worth exploring. And the fact that it's becoming legal in more and more states, it seems like it's something we should look into. I'm a big fan of, and we did this in the magazine industry, which you and I were both in. What are you going to cover in your magazine? And we would always say markets with great disparity, not despair like DESPAR, like, oh, everything's terrible, but it's this big right now, right? It's small right now, and it's going to grow exponentially. And that's really what we see from a cannabis and CBD vertical standpoint inside of the point of sale channel. The restaurant industry continues to grow. It's not going to grow as exponentially as it seems the cannabis market should. And so we're all about presenting growth opportunities to our members. And so that's what we're doing.
All right, well, you're doing good work, folks. It's down below, but it's go, rspa.org. Sir, we'll talk to you in a few weeks. Have a great day.